Verena Pausder, chairwoman of the German Startup Association, is back on stage with David Reger of Neurorobotics. Investors and policymakers, please take notes. Verena will lead the conversation. Please welcome both of them.
Oh, wow. Bit of dance music in the morning. Yes, welcome back on stage.
Thanks.
I'm very happy to have this conversation. And the good thing is I don't have to ask you all the boring stuff, because you already presented that.
Yes, exactly.
I can jump straight into the questions I really want to know. One thing I always want to know when working with founders is what's their good, what's their bad, and what's their ugly. So what is really great about you, and what is really ugly?
The great is very difficult. There's too many.
No.
No. So I would say the good. The good. I think I'm pretty ambitious, and I would say I think I never stop. So if I have something in mind, I think I would just do everything possible.
Was that always like that?
It got there. Yeah. So I think here, yeah, it's for sure not just how to say it myself, and I'm the great guy, but I'm a big believer. So for me, I know it's not the most tech entrepreneurs are not believers, but I'm a believer. So I have my prayers, and then I have a good feeling. So and then I
you
really
keep going.
Yeah, keep going. So that's I would say my strength and my good, and my bad.
and they're still ugly. So save some ugly.
Okay, so super bad. Oh, that's ugly, or no? So the bad.
And what's like a weakness where you say, I know this about me, I don't really change it.
I can't. Okay, that's I can't change it. That's why. I don't change it. But I think it's the very direct feedback and too fast feedback sometimes. Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty difficult to be very close to me, and I mean people I love, or I really have really big connection with, and in the same time working with me. Mm-hmm. I think it's super tough, simply because I think I'm pretty efficient in responding. And sometimes a little bit too fast. So and so
you don't package it enough. Yes, you just shoot it out.
Yeah, that's something. First, my wife told me, but you don't listen to your wife, or but
you should. Yeah.
But then later, I think there's more and more people telling me that, which are pretty close. Is like, hey, David, sometimes you make me cry, or in the evenings. So it's more. I think, and why I simply say the way I'm using it now, I really now know that it's happening, mm-hmm. and afterwards I just write a nice message. So and everyone knows that I really
that you got it.
Yes. That I got it, and sometimes I have to be just a little bit more careful with my directness and words.
I'll let you go on the ugly to not make it too deep for you. But what was the moment where you knew you wanted to found a company like Neura, and was it, in your eyes, already late to the party because China and the US were already marching? So what was your ignition moment?
So at the time when I started, there was no one starting in that space. So we did the first cognitive robots. So it means robot arms with eyes, ears, and field of touch. In 2019, that was super unsexy. It was nobody did hardware. It made no sense. Everyone tried to live in the metaverse and whatever. So it was. But I still felt this is the next big step, and why I did it. I really, at this time I was living in Switzerland. So and then I moved actually back to Germany because I really believe that it's actually the right spot and the right time to do it there. Not because Germany is easy. It's because Germany is super tough, but Germany needs it. Mm-hmm. And this is also where I simply thought, okay, we will build robots because we really need them to survive here, and have actually also a manufacturing industry and all them somehow going. And at the same time, combining it with AI, it could be actually a new economic pillar. And that was actually, and that's also still my goal, making
Germany work.
yeah, making basically technologies which serve humanity and at the same time also building the largest economic pillar in Europe. So this is my goal because there's a lot of things inside of this goal,
Yeah.
and then it's more efficient. Yeah.
You told me the other day that there were some top managers visiting who had just been to China, and they came with this attitude of China is far ahead. We saw robots dancing with the chancellor, and then they came to Nora kind of wanting to know, like, do you have any chance at all? And when they left, they said, oh, we might actually be ahead of the game.
Yes.
How come?
Yeah, so here especially because it's super difficult to explain what's behind all this physical AI race also and about the robotics itself, because the most people just see it is impressive, or seeing a robot dancing and,
Absolutely, yeah.
and doing backflips and whatever, and sometimes I'm also jealous there, seeing others doing it. But in the same time here, I think it's very important to stay also focused. It's not about having now just a lot of robots shipped, but it's all about like this form factor of humanoids especially, they only make sense if they actually have the full capabilities, are not being programmed anymore, but actually trained. And for that, let's say like that, yes, the Chinese are building right now the most robots, much more than we do. But the thing is, it's a little bit like you're comparing right now, like in the autonomous driving game, like any of the car makers and telling like, hey, they have already 1 million cars in the game, they will probably win the autonomous driving game. No, it's not, because if they don't have the right sensor capabilities and a computer architecture, they will never drive autonomous. Yeah. So, and that's the same in the robotic space. And here, I think the most important KPI in the industrial space is actually the time to skill. And the time to skill, like here, I think we're leading.
Can you compare that? What's the time to skill in China? What's our time to skill?
So it's not about just the time in China. It's the way they actually, how do you say it, build the system. Because they build it the way as ChatGPT was built, like the large language model, just to have something where they collect all the information and somehow build one brain. And that's fine for the first foundation model, but I think the one part is missing is actually not being like don't enable yourself just to help everyone because it's super limited by yourself. Or we did it in the way that we actually built a platform and we give them the tools so they can actually train their system like in several hours for a more difficult task, while actually in the other ways they had to do it for them. So, and this is basically a big differentiator. And the other one is like through the platform, they can actually keep their know-how. Because like all the companies are differentiating themselves by know-how and the way how they do things. Or so it does not make sense to give actually all this knowledge to someone and say like enable now the whole world to do the same things as we do, because it will never like basically the whole reason for existence disappears in that, with this method. So, and this is actually what we are doing right now as the only one on the planet.
Okay,
so,
great.
and this makes us right now fast. But now, yes, as I'm telling it, I have to be even faster, because for sure everyone will have this effect of, oh yeah, it makes sense, and start doing the same. But this is
absolutely.
Yeah,
If
I
you
think the
look,
right time
if you
now.
look to Germany or Europe, you see that we basically have all ingredients for deep tech aligned. So we are a very rich continent. We have the talent. We have the world research and development, world-class research development coming out of our universities. We have the industrial power and the industrial backbone. Which of these ingredients do you think is the scarcest? So where would you say, please double down on that? Is it talent? Is it capital? Is it industrial basis? Where do you say, if we had that, we could move much faster?
I think at this time, in my opinion, mindset of us as Germans.
Of aiming high.
Yeah, it's the mindset of first being limited, don't like your neighbors, and be always jealous on your neighbors. Like it's, I think, and at the same time, it's like the mindset as we have earned something. Like we did earn already something. Like we don't, you know, like our basically the people built Germany. They earned something, so they are now retired. So that's actually their earning. So the thing is for us is like we do need to start again, and we have to do everything humanly possible to actually win. And this mindset is actually, you will find it in Metzingen actually, because we brought it there. So, and it's tough to work in Metzingen at Nura. Maybe easier to go at Hugo Boss. But here actually also, I think the most important thing is like it comes from the top. So it means we do need to change the way we we think about ourselves and about the things we do. And we need to think bigger again, because there is actually not the market existing right now which we can rely on, which will just future grow and actually keep our, how to say it, our wealth and actually the
We
peace
have to build
in
it
our
ourselves.
country. Yeah, like we need to have the mindset of, hi, we need now to build something which the world needs and can't live without it. Because if we don't have something, like, because this was how it was with the cars, the whole world needed us because of the whole technologies behind cars and engines and everything. But this one disappears right now, so we need to find something else, because if not, we don't have actually the resources of oil or whatever to still survive. We are fully built on the engineering and capabilities we have in that space. So, and this is, I think, what I'm missing many times, because also that's where people don't survive long at Neura, is basically when they come in and think we deserve something and we built already something. Yes, it's nothing actually compared to what we have to build to actually survive as a country.
And talking about capital as one of the ingredients, I know there might be a financing round coming up, as it is in deep techs. They need financing rounds, and probably it will be a pretty large one. How difficult is it to raise deep tech money in Europe? I know the answer. It's difficult, because 86% of our scale-ups belong to non-European investors, because we don't have the funds that are big enough to do the 100, 200 million tickets. What was your experience in the near past? Are things changing? Is more money flowing into deep tech? Are family offices going into that area? Can you give us some hope?
Yeah, so things are changing, and things are changing as there's actually people and companies are making crazy things happen. So others can actually see them as role models. In the other way, you have actually investors seeing, wow, it makes sense again to invest in Germany, because I think. I think every investor makes like a good job if they don't invest in Germany, you know, like because like, and it was also because I got actually this question a lot while racing the first rounds. It was crazy. It was the hardest time in my life.
How much have you raised so far?
So it's.
I'm just asking.
Officially,
yeah, I'm just asking.
But the thing is. Yeah, so the first, like basically Series A was about 65 million, Series B was 120 million, and then
some other things might happen.
There could be a C, a D, whatever in one day. But the thing is, like, and I really know what I'm talking about right now, as there is big ambitions from my side, and I think we are, like, I just can't talk about everything yet. So, but the thing is, everyone asked me the question of, because even now, like after the Series B, I mean, we were valuated, I think, 720 million or something, and then basically afterwards, you somehow have to bring like a 10x or something, like to with the next series. So that's how everyone expects. And when you're coming there, then the question will appear like the largest IPO in Germany was actually Porsche with 78 or something billion. So. How can you be larger than them? And then the other question will come actually, the last 100 years, there was only one company actually breaking like the 100 billion record here, and was actually SAP. So how will you be the second arm? Yeah. So, and I think the answer is very simple now for everyone who is racing. It's actually now it's the time, because Germany had never as bad time as they have today. So they have to build up a new economic pillar to survive. So, and this is, I think, also, and you see also in the history of Germany, like mostly when it put us into a situation where we have to survive, we will find a way for that. And you are the way actually doing it. So, but then you have also to be the way and make it happen. Because there is also the danger, and this also the part which you have to live in. Because mostly when people are coming also after funding rounds and saying, wow, congrats, awesome, wow, awesome. Yeah, it's nice. But the thing is, what you're getting is like a huge pressure and a huge load, actually, because you're building right now a way which there was not so many of it doing it before you, and here, if you fail, it will be super
Everyone
much
will
harder
watch.
for all the others after
Absolutely.
me.
Absolutely. But that was crisis times were always entrepreneurial times. If you look at Siemens 1847, right in front of the German Revolution, SAP 1973 on the peak of the oil crisis, Zalando, now DAX 2009, right after Lehman, and last year we had 30% more tech founding startups in this country than 2024, and a lot of deep tech and AI. So I totally agree with the time is now. Tonight we're meeting the Chancellor. He's coming to our German Startup Awards, and unlike other events, he's not just rushing in and rushing out. He's actually coming, listening. We can ask him questions. If you had like this 1, 2 things where you say this is the message he needs to hear, what would it be? Because my feeling is that deep tech, innovation, AI is not enough part of the ecosystem of our policymakers as it should be right now.
So I'm firstly never expecting too much from politics. So this is basically, and that's why I'm just going and I'm not trying to just find my ways, even you have difficulties.
It's an entrepreneurial spirit,
But the thing I really wish, and I actually tell every politician I ever talk to, is actually in my opinion, there's only one thing missing in Germany, and also Europe, because Europe is actually not united. And the reason for that is very simple. It's the same in every company also. The success is mainly first having how can you have a success without having a goal or a real, let's say, how say a North Star for your country. And I think we do need a North Stars. Where are we heading? What are the core things we are good in, and how can we actually leverage that and actually win on the planet? And then in the second, if we actually also played on a larger role, because we are here in Europe, and I think it's very important that we unite Europe actually, because and I think here, if you have somebody ruling Europe, somebody super good, would actually do one thing. Let's think about where you guys are good in, Germany, France, Italy, or Poland, and then just think about together, how can we leverage that together to our North Star where we are heading? So, and this is something, I think this will unite us. At the same time, it will actually help us also on the whole capital side, because we're not pouring basically just the capital everywhere and trying to find, let's say, somewhere something. This is how China also works.
With a very clear plan.
Yeah, it's a clear plan. Everyone knows. The 2030 plan of China is actually having, let's say, 5% working labor in robotics. It's 40 million robots. It's the largest market on the planet. So everyone heading there. So that's why there are so many robot companies appearing on that. And then in a second, what's with autonomous cars? What's with space? What's with whatever? And I think we are good at this. We were always the makers of the newest technologies, but we never made it happen to make business out of it, because simply we had never believers and somebody who is telling this is good what you're doing because it's heading towards a goal.
Yeah.
And that's my big. Sorry if I took much longer.
No, not at all. Because I imagine, you're now 1,400 people, and if you give a speech in the morning to your employees, and you started with, this country, this company, we're going down, we don't have a chance anymore, China is taking over, I have no clear idea how the future could look like, and then at the end you say, and now everybody give your best. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
Not going to.
And so I think this big leadership moment is one we need. Talking about 1,400 people, you started at 0. Leadership changes as companies grow, culture changes. What's the biggest leadership challenge you're facing by a growing company like this? Because the one thing is you have to crack technology and that what you're doing, and the other thing is you have to keep the people motivated and give them the feeling of this is the place to be. What's your main challenge there?
It's actually maintaining the spirit. So I think, they're all incredible minds, and the thing is, you can also and I have enough example inside my company where we simply really got slow, We got actually, you have a lot of people unhappy, quitting, whatever, like the most important ones, whatever. And then you're figuring out, yes, you're making the same mistake as actually Germany does and Europe does right now. So then you're going again, and like it's really maintaining it. First, be present, be there, be a role model. They see me every day and night working. And the other part is actually how to say it, have the pillars inside your and maintain them very heavily, which are actually representing actually everything your vision is, and at the same time what you want to bring into that team. And at the same time also don't hold on things which were right in the first years. You know, they were right there, and many times I'm talking about, hey, the first years we were the fastest, we were the best, whatever. But it doesn't matter at all, you know. So the thing is, it's all about like how do we do it next? And just now, I had a really interesting case, because while we were like in large due diligence, whatever, I saw myself like some things in my company I didn't like, and then you have to actually make a quick decision of what do you do? Or the first thing we did is like we just transformed the whole company in 1 week. I put my whole management team together. I told them basically there is right now no hierarchies, because you guys didn't make it, sorry, myself either. And let's now think about how to make it now right to actually win against in the world. And we restructured the whole company. I know it was tough for many people because they had actually even to move to another place to sit. Because I'm from a department organization, I transformed it now into like a product organization. But then you saw already it started again flourishing, or like in that space. And there, I think like this decision making and not fearing and not listening too much of people which are trying to tell you of how it works. Because in the end, I always ask the question like, did you work at Google? Did you work at SpaceX, at Tesla, at whatever, and from the beginning?
Yeah.
Have you? So if not, then please, sorry. We define the way.
There's no secret sauce.
Like we will do it, and we will react fastly on the situation. And I think this is also the factor which makes us special right now.
How do you give yourself a break? Because by listening to you, due diligence, probably a financing round, as they're always, this is always part of CEO's life, pushing the organization, restructuring it, sounds like always on. Do you take breaks? Do you need breaks? Where do you get your inspiration from?
So I'm surely a human, so I do need breaks. When do I take them? I think at this time, like I'm trying to combine it. At least that. This is actually something. So I do listen to my wife sometimes.
Okay, I'm happy to hear. I'm happy to hear. Yeah.
To also my team, which and also to my body itself. Not always, but sometimes. And so right now I try just to combine it. Also, like I'm never off, so I'm working Saturday, Sunday every day. But at least I'm taking there some time of it. Like I have the morning on a Sunday with my family. On Saturday, I have the breakfast with my family. I have like sometimes, and that's actually where I get the energy from. So in the same time also, I was just recently actually even on Maldives. I think the most don't know because they didn't figure out because I'm there like. And
you pretended you were working.
Yes. No, but I do work, and but I'm jumping into the water, and in the next time I'm ready. The biggest issue I had all the time drying, making my hairs because everyone just knows me that way. So but it works. Or so you just. I think it's the passion I'm having, and that's why I'm never like I'm feeling maybe today tired, tomorrow I'm actually fit again as I had vacation, like because just looking at something exciting again. But yes, issues are making people tired, and building a company in that space and that speed and
needs a lot of
growth,
resilience. Yeah,
having this like it makes you simply many times like tired and lonely. But it's I think something where. Yeah, you just need to figure out. Like, I drive sports cars with my daughter. She loves sports cars. And like sometimes in the night, just to have a little bit of time, but these are things I'm doing.
Yes. To the deep tech founders in the room, what's the message like if the younger David would be sitting here, or he could be as old as you are, but he hasn't founded the company yet, what's the one message if you are founding in deep tech right now, you've taken the first steps, and now you're looking at something like Neura with 1,400 people, with all you've achieved so far, knowing that you would still say, we haven't even started. What's your one message to the people who are just starting up?
I would say, like, if you have a passion for something, just do it. Or, and nobody can guarantee your success. But you can do it. Like, and you can just, I think, be flexible on. Don't look at others how they did it, because this is, I think, it will never work the way others did. And mostly, I don't tell you exact way, like things, like the pain I'm going through or all the good things which are happening. So it's more you're looking from outside. And people which are joining my team many times tell me like, "Wow, from outside it looks completely different." And I said, "Yes, welcome. That's to the real world." And this is actually also something I think I would recommend to everyone. Like, don't look at others. Have passion. Find the right people around you, and then maintain the spirit, because that's important, because this will carry you through the tough times. And one thing is guaranteed: when you're starting a company, you will face a lot of tough times. If you're not ready for it, then don't start a company. That's also, I think, very important. So really be, like, not just founding a company because you want to found a company because others do, but really because you will not succeed, in my opinion, because simply it's super, you will have to go through a lot of pain. And so, okay, already a lot of things, but everything else, just do it. If you feel like, do it. I think right now the time is right. To start a company in Germany, you're always in safe haven, you know? And this is actually where my passion for Germany comes from, because everyone asks me, like, why do you love your country so much? Or what is the thing? Why are you sacrificing so much for the country? I'm always saying, like, hey, I used to live in San Francisco, and San Francisco is the heaven somehow when you look from outside. But I also worked as a case manager with homeless people, and I saw the real life, like the dark side of also US, seeing how people struggle. They don't have like someone who is going to somehow catch them, like from really being on the street. And also, like, really, I had women with 2 children, so they were like on the streets, and I worked with them and somehow trying to figure out a way to get them out of there. Why I think in Germany you will not face that yet, but it will happen that the social life we have today will change, and for that, and if you don't want that, you have to now start companies and make crazy things happen. So that's the last.
Love that. Yes, that's a very good call. I know there was not the plan to have questions from the audience, but I would take 1 or 2. Oh yeah, we have a microphone even. So if you have anything you want to ask David, as you see, it's a very open conversation. So take the chance. If you don't, I have a last question. I don't believe you guys. It can't be that there are 100 people listening and no one has a question. Thank you.
I have a question for David. With all the robotic work that you do and with all the materials you shared previously, where do you see the role of the human in the future of the economy?
Yeah. It's a super good question, and it's something we need to think all together, all the 100 people together about. So I think at this time, let's say the next 5 to 10 years, I think there is like the nature will take care of. Like there's less basically people getting, let's say, getting skills, how to say it, physical working skills, then actually people get retired with skills. So that's why the market is huge and will grow. But one day it will get actually, it has to like happen, and it will happen because of the time to skill that every physical task will be done by robots. And this is actually where humans have to now basically transform itself. It was a little bit like the time I just, to make it more understandable, it's a little bit like we can't imagine today, and I don't have an answer for everything. I think there is ways. I think the human, how to say it, humanity, like being a human will be a very special thing, and I think it will be something you should care a lot about, and maybe about the world itself. But it was like the time in when everyone was working actually 150, 200 years ago on the field and just making field work. Or I think nobody could ever imagine like what will they do actually if this disappears. They will not have anything to eat. Things will not work out. But actually, a tractor is now the reason why we can actually have so many humans on this planet. Because without it, we would have even more hunger on this planet. So, and then the second also with internet, with all the other things, the transformation will come, and we need to be open. We need to think about carefully, and that's what we are doing every day. But I don't have actually the exact answer what will happen. I can answer the next 5 years, 10 years, but everything further, there will be a transformation of humanity basically happening.
Thank you, David. One last question here.
So now we open this one.
Thank you very much, David, for the talk. Super interesting. Also, Verena, thank you very much. I was wondering, since you transport so much enthusiasm and so much optimism also, how can we spread more optimism and enthusiasm in a country which is not really known for enthusiasm sometimes?
Yeah. Actually, by just doing it, or like
Leading by example, huh?
yeah, leading by example. Like if you want other being enthusiastic, like your team, if you're coming into your company every day with a bad mood and hey guys, we will not make it, believe me, they will be all believing you, and they will get in, your company will get in trouble. So I think it's the same also, like for all of us. I think our responsibility is about thinking about how to change things. But it's always easier to complain, and that's the problem. But don't involve yourself in that. You know, that's what I try. Don't try to spend too much time with the people complaining, and then they should feel that you're not interested in that talks. You're focusing on something good. And I think this is something where we have to do. But also, yes, ask our governments and everyone to do something about it and actually be a role model in that space. Or so make some plans, or like, because we can only get enthusiastic if we have something to look at and like to see where we're going. And this is actually what I have every day. If one day I wake up and I see that all of the things don't make sense I do, I think I will also be the like I will die in the same day. So it's like, because this one keeps me alive and actually really like doing everything for the better, basically. And that's what I hope for everyone else. Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's what we're going to do tonight when the Chancellor comes, portray the success stories in this country, and we have a lot in the room on this conference and in general. And I think at the moment we have just decided for the downward spiral narrative. So we keep telling us the stories of what's not working anymore in interviews, wherever the first question is, Germany is going down, so and so many insolvencies. Yes, that's true, and we have to look at that side, but we also have to see the side where Germany is starting up. And by seeing companies like Neura, ESA Aerospace, Proxima, Marvel Fusion, I could name hundreds, going to meet with a large scale-up roundtable in an hour here. There's so much hope. And I think leading by example and spreading that hope is the answer. David, thank you so much for this conversation, and all the best.
Thank you so much. And Verena should get all the applause, because she's really working on it. I forgot to tell her, actually. I think the question would be better for her. Like, no. She's really working hard on it to actually get this positive narrative basically into our country and get this actually up. And she's pushing everyone, also me and everyone else, to actually tell the stories, and at the same time actually brings it together also to the highest level. So
thank you. Thank you.